Alright, so first off, we have meditation. Am I going to go into this realistically? Am I going to go into this more how I actually feel or how I feel it could go for everybody? Because what works for me might not work for you. So I'm going to go with my opinion. So for real, I know a lot of you guys are going to want to put it in S tier. I'm sure almost every YouTuber that does a video like this puts it in S tier. I put it in A tier. I have respect for meditation. I have meditated before. It's something I struggle with more as I get older for some reason. I don't really understand why, but genuinely, if you could actually get control of your thoughts and actually control your breathing patterns and you know, force yourself into a different perspective, it's great. And mindfulness kind of goes hand in hand with meditation. So if you could if you're going through something, or even if you're not going through something, and you could take some time to really meditate on it, lay down in your bed, or you know, some people be going freaking crazy, like actually meditating while they're doing other things, which I can't even begin to relate to. You know, if it was all encompassing and there wasn't this like, I guess productivity culture, I would probably put it into S tier. But at this point in my life, with what I have going on, I'm a homeowner. I got a lot of things going on. I'm wearing a lot of hats. Meditation, just to me, it doesn't feel honest because it's not somewhere I could really put my mind very often. All right, so next up we have sleep tracking. And oh my gosh, I feel like I'm gonna get eaten alive for this one, especially in productivity culture. I think sleep tracking is massively overrated. I think it is good. I think the sentiment of getting better sleep is good. Don't get me wrong, I'm not stupid. I know that we realistically need like anywhere from 6 to 8 hours of sleep. It makes you healthier and it refreshes your mind. It like recharges the cells in your brain. I get it. I know, I'm not stupid. But what is stupid is the min-max strategists, the people who really nerd out about this stuff. I don't think they're actually stupid, but the reality is if you're tracking every single thing you do, bro, like the same people that will do sleep tracking will not get their blood test taken. They're not measuring their testosterone. They're not measuring if they have diabetes. They're not measuring if they have a thyroid condition. They're like, nah, bro, I just downloaded an app. It says I got 7 hours of sleep. That means I'm good. That means I could just live my life and chain smoke cigarettes and pop Zins and just do some degenerate stuff, whatever. I would say I'm firmly putting it at C, but let's say for some reason there was a technology I'm not aware of that can passively track your sleep, and then you just kind of look at it and you're like, yo, I should probably get off the game at midnight instead of 3 a.m. All right, cool. I'll concede that. At that point, I would firmly put it in B, but for me, all I see on what I'm exposed to is people manually doing it, tracking it, pulling out the chalkboard, and that's just, for me, sleep is sleep. You start stressing about sleep, well, it's a paradox. Like, you're just gonna have to OD on melatonin or something just to get yourself there. Like, I'm willing to bet there's a guy who will pop like a few gummies before going to bed, and then they'll be like, oh, no, but it was a good sleep. It was a good sleep. I got 9 hours, but like, in reality, they just killed their REM for no reason, all because they want a better point on their app. You know, next up, we got reading. Easy S tier. One of the easiest S tiers on this list, I guarantee it. Reading instead of scrolling on your phone. Amazing. Great. Are some of the people that do it low-key humble bragging over very basic things and very basic tasks? Sure. Do I think that they're absolutely mugging me when they do that at night while I'm scrolling on my phone? Oh, 100%. Absolutely. I look at my buddies, I look at my girlfriend who's a big reader, and I just kind of measure their productivity and their IQ, and it's just, they're doing better than me. That's really what it is. I say anything that gets you off the phone, like, as long as it gets you off your phone, you're gonna end up in at least A tier for me. I don't know, maybe that's just my my little bias here, but if it pulls me off TikTok, it's probably a good thing. I'm probably gonna have to change a lot of the shit I do after making this video too. But yeah, anyway, next up we have touching grass. Now, I guess like touching grass theoretically could take you into some really weird situations. You could be hanging out with the boys, you could be like going and drinking and doing drugs or whatever, but just for the sake of this video, we're talking self-productivity. We're talking self-improvement. Touching grass, by and large, this might actually be the biggest S tier of the video. I'm gonna say that every time I do an S tier, but this might be the one. Like going outside for a walk, going to the park with your girl or your friends, going out playing some football with your friends or soccer or going to see a game or doing something like that. You know, going out to like the farmer's market and getting vegetables. Like, I'm trying to think of like everything normal that touching grass is, because it's obviously not just go sit in your backyard, but like even if it is sitting in your backyard or going in your front yard or going for a walk around the block or going down to the food store to be productive, like these are good things to do. Like, you're talking about meditation, and for me, I feel like I get a lot more of that meditative feeling, a lot more of that thinking to yourself feeling when I'm walking to the gym or I'm going down to the food store and my AirPods are not not in, or if they are in, maybe I'm listening to some music, maybe something that calms me down, something that helps me think, instead of having like Jordan Peterson or Joe Rogan tell me their hot take of the week that makes no sense. So yeah, like low-key, if you're feeling stuck or if you're in a weird spot, get outside, taking in the sun. I mean, like last time I got my blood taken, I had a slight vitamin D deficiency. I've been supplementing it like crazy. I started walking a few days a week to the gym. I feel good. I mean, like it's hard to kind of measure how you feel versus what you're deficient in, but I feel like it helped. So yeah, like touching grass, definitely solid S tier. But next up we have money making. Now, like, I don't know if you guys are going to agree with me on this one, but I'm just going to let it rip. I put that in A tier, a firm A tier. I was considering S tier. I was considering B tier. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to throw it right in the middle because I don't know about you guys, but anytime I've made money, whether it's on this YouTube stuff or I'm working extra hours or I'm really putting in that work, it makes me feel good about myself. Like, especially when I have a goal, if I have like a savings goal, you know, I do what I can to avoid debt. I do what I can to own what I have. I do what I can to eventually upgrade houses one day. And like kind of going for the money making aspect really helps me there. I just feel like what really encompasses here is like it's just a good thing to have goals. I mean, later on this week, I'm taking my cat to the vet to have all of her teeth removed. She's not really doing too well, not doing too hot. That's going to be a lot of money. That's going to be like almost $2,000. And $2,000 to me is like super, super valuable. It's many, many weeks of work to get $2,000. So like I definitely feeling the stress of that. And I would feel a lot less stress and I would feel a lot more capable if $2,000 just came easier to me. And honestly, like I'm worried that my cat's currently in pain right now. And if I would have just had $2,000 when I was quoted months and months ago, I could have avoided a lot of pain for her too. So yeah, I know money is superficial and it's not all about the money. And if you don't have the life that you love outside of the money, then the money becomes a lot less valued. But overall, money can't buy you happiness, but it sure can make you comfortable and set you up to find your own happiness. But next up, we got testosterone maxing. Now, like, if we're talking, like, on some Liver King shit, firm D tier. I mean, like, there's a picture of Liver King literally, like, on the tier list, so I'm gonna go with that. The stuff that this guy would do to try to max out his testosterone, the way that he would eat, like, beef liver raw and, like, you know, bask in the sun in his backyard naked and, like, all the weird stuff he did, it's mental illness. That's really what it is. It's a character. Following that, you know, he made content for men who think that this is the lane, like, this is the thing to do. This is the track to sign up for because, well, maybe they just don't have something to sign up for in their own life. Maybe they lost agency, but overall, testosterone maxing, you know how you could do that inside of a day? Go get a blood test. Go check on your health. You're not maxing out anything. Like, it's just stupid slop. And like, I think this guy, if I remember correctly, he was just hawking pills at his audience. So stupid guy. Stupid concept. Next up, we got Stoicism. I put this firmly in S tier, super, super firmly in S tier. And if you guys don't know what Stoicism is, it's pretty much, it's the ancient, I'm reading Google AI overview, so like, don't think this was off the top of my head. I'm not that smart. It's the ancient Hellenistic philosophy founded in Athens. This is stupid. Why is the definition saying this? Overall, it teaches that the path to happiness and your inner peace lies in accepting the present moment, mastering your emotions, and using reason to distinguish between what's in your control and what's out of your control. You know, shout out to Google for the history lesson, but overall, it's pretty much saying like, yo, like if it's out of my control, if something's happening to me, I can't control it, then we have to just accept it and focus on what we can actually change. Pull the levers that we can actually change in our head. So like if you have a friend who's antagonizing you and you just realize that like they're not going to change, they're not going to do anything different, instead of trying to control them and freaking out, you just kind of adjust how much time you give to that person. So yeah, obviously the downside is like it intellectualizes grief too much. Like if you have a parent who's dying, you don't really want to be stoic because you might stop yourself from actually feeling the full weight of what's going on. You know, like it's like, oh no, bro, like I'm not a doctor. I can't control it. So like it is what it is. But like what I can control is X, Y, Z. You know, like it doesn't always apply, but overall it's a good way to live your life in actual realistic day-to-day conflict. Next up, we got journaling. Honestly, I'm not a big journaler. It's just something that I feel like I'm not even almost qualified to talk about. I'm putting it in B tier. I've done it a little bit. I've journaled on like the text app on my phone or the notes app on my phone when I'm going through something or I'm trying to understand the perspective somebody else has. If I have a fight with somebody, sometimes I'll just draft out on the notepad just to keep myself in check and to understand what's going on. But honestly, I just feel I'm the type of person I like to have it in my head. I like to talk out loud while I'm driving jogging or walking or doing something like that. Writing it down doesn't really do much for me because honestly, maybe I'm just not trusting, but I don't want a random person to find it and then know my deepest thoughts. And now we got breath work. I feel like breath work is super underrated. I'm putting it in A tier. It's going firmly in A tier for me. I feel like a lot of people don't realize that you can really breathe yourself out of things like anxiety or a panic attack or just a straight up freak out. You know, I'm sure there's times that people have avoided entire mental breakdowns just because they took a second to breathe and actually like looked into breathing techniques. I don't get a lot of panic attacks, but when I do, I breathe and I could really take myself out of it faster than a lot of people. So yeah, I just feel like if you're mindful about your breathing, you can feed your brain oxygen, and like that's just kind of my thought process. All right, so next up we have social connections. Now I feel like this one's complicated. It's a super wide-ranging one. There's positives, there's negatives. I'm putting it in C tier, but it's like it's 1 HP away from going into B tier. I feel like social interaction with your friends can really help your mental health, but overall, like this is self-improvement. Like this is trying to become a better person, and I feel like sometimes social connections can go really good and they could bring you up, but also there's times where like I don't know, like I don't know, man, maybe I look at this cynically, but sometimes interacting with people can be something I regret. So I'm not saying it's a bad thing to do. I'm saying if you're trying to get your mind right, sometimes having more people in the room doesn't always help. All right. So next up, we have monk mode. Now, like, I knew what this was because I'm on TikTok way too often. But for anybody who doesn't know, it's pretty much a self-improvement. Again, this is through Google AI overview. Maybe they got it wrong. Maybe they're going to teach me about the Mesozoic era. But it says it's a self-improvement and productivity protocol where you temporarily withdraw from distractions to hyper-focus on specific high-priority goals. It could last like a few months. The practice combines isolation, introspection, and deep work. Essentially, here's what I took from it. Here's my understanding. You withdraw from friends, you push people away, and you focus on a specific goal you have, a business, going to the gym, like just really essentially the great lock-in, the great winter lock-in that nobody did. That's what this is. And I know a lot of you guys are going to say I'm stupid. You're going to say I'm selling. This is going into D tier. It's purely performative. I've never, ever, not even once seen somebody do this and have it actually be a big thing that they do. It's really more like they want the red carpet rolled out when they come back, and they want all their bros being like, yo, dude, how did you do it, man? Thanks for making time for us out of your busy schedule, man. And it's like, dude, you're performative. Why can't you just live a normal life and go for your goals? Why does it have to be a protocol? Like that one Dragon Ball Z gif where he's inside the chamber, like I guess charging up. This is what these people think they are. So yeah, monk mode can definitely hold that D tier. I don't care. All right, so now we're on to cold showers. D tier. I've done cold showers before, and I only do it because in the summer I get really hot, especially when I shower. So I'll cold shower so that I can leave the shower not borderline sweating. I get like the heat shock proteins from the sauna, but like I just don't see why a cold shower really matters. It just feels very performative. And it's one of those things where I don't think a single human being has taken a cold shower and then just shut up about it. They have to tell somebody, they have to record it, it has to be logged into a journal. It is not something people do because it feels good. If you like it, that's good for you. I'm really happy that that works for you. I'm just not going to give it flowers. It's just changing the temperature of your shower. All right, next up we have setting goals. That's going to be an easy S tier. It kind of goes along with the money-making aspect, but the real reason why I like the money-making aspect, or the reason why I like that as a self-improvement tip, is because it goes hand in hand with setting your goals. Now, low-key, it doesn't matter what your goal is. Like, I have goals that have nothing to do with productivity. Like, it's like, oh, I want to upload 2 YouTube videos a week. I want to help people out. That's not super productive for me. I don't make that much money on it, but it makes me happy. I have goals to lose weight. I have goals to save money. I have goals to get a house in the future that's better than my current one. I have a lot of goals in my life, and I feel like they really keep me going. So it's like putting fuel in your tank. Super underrated. In fact, I feel like a lot of the misery in this life comes from not really knowing how to properly set goals. I had to self-teach myself how to see the value in that and how to do it. But if you're feeling stuck or if you're feeling lost, definitely just set yourself a goal. Screw it. Just do it. And now next up, we have the gym. I'm putting that in S tier also. I'm biased. I'm into things like personal training. I've been going to the gym since I'm 14, but I'm telling you, I feel like it did so much for my sense of self-worth, my sense of what I want to be, and it really does help balance me, center me, and then it goes hand in hand with like the goals that I like to set for myself too. You know, and that's the thing. It's like, it doesn't matter. Like, you want to go to the gym and you want to do cardio, people will tell you not to do cardio. Do whatever you want at the gym. I don't care. I won't judge you. As long as you're not being weird, go to the gym, do your cardio, do your walking, do your lifting, do your power lifting. Like, there's so much stuff to do there. It's just great, and it's great for you. It's one of those rare things that benefits you in multiple tiers at the same time. Benefits your brain, benefits your body, benefits your sense of self. There's a lot of pressure around it, but honestly, if somebody makes you feel weird for going to the gym, they're just not doing well. All right, so this next one goes hand in hand with the gym. I'm considering it the exact same thing. It's martial arts. I've not met somebody who's done martial arts that talks down on it at all. People really get a good sense of community out of it. There's a world where martial arts is actually better than the gym, honestly. So I'm going to give it its flowers. It kind of checks those same boxes as the gym. It's a little more barrier of entry to get to. I've never done martial arts. I'm not speaking from experience. I'm speaking from what I've observed. I've known a lot of people. I've been in a lot of circles where people do martial arts, and also like I listen to a lot of media related to or adjacent to martial arts. As much as it can come off as dude bro or whatever, it's hard to ignore the fact that people get a lot of sense of self, community, and happiness from it. So S tier it is. Alright, so like low-key, there are a few in here that I just really feel like I'm not qualified to talk about. I also feel like it's weird. The next one's called NoFap. I'm not gonna explain it. I'm putting it in D tier. As much as I commend people for taking artificial things out of their life, I just don't really care for this. I don't really have much of an opinion. I'm not gonna develop an opinion. Just look into it if you want. Alright, so moving on, we have Looksmaxing. That's a D tier. That's a D tier. Clavicular and anybody like him. It's just stupid slop content, and it kind of reminds me of the Liver King, Andrew Tate type thing, where it's like people who are lost will gravitate towards these figures and then just kind of like dive into them, and these figures will fill the same space in their head like an older brother or a dad, like something fraternal or paternal. So yeah, like I'm not going to be beating up my face if I want a better jawline. The best Looksmaxing is just going to the gym and also just developing a real personality. Like deep down, I really do feel bad for the Looksmaxing people because they clearly are very insecure, but getting your development through the people who make this content, it's just not going to help you. It's going to set you back. Okay, next up we have cold approaching. C tier. C tier. It's not D tier because I like what motivates this type of approach where it's like, oh man, like I'm struggling with women. I'm going to cold approach them. I'm going to try to put myself out there. So if this said putting yourself out there, it'd be A tier, it'd be S tier. But cold approaching is just going up to a girl that you think is attractive and trying to like hit on them. And in a normal environment where you actually have some established rapport, that's cool. The way that I see it is it's just a guy walking over to a girl, shooting his shot and making himself look weird and putting the girl in a specific position. It's C tier. It's just, that's not really how you build rapport. That's not really how you get to know somebody. It's not my style. If it works for you, that's cool. My style is more, you know, if the connection naturally happens. If something funny happens and I throw a quip out there and then that somehow gets somebody's attention. But yeah, I don't know. It's never been my style to just kind of go to the mall and like approach a girl and be like, yo, like you're really pretty, you're really hot. Not my style. I've known people to do that. They did not do good with girls. It's just what it is. But like, you got to think about this from the woman's perspective too, because it's like, imagine you're walking around the bar like it's a Pokemon game, and then a wild trainer sees you in their vision, the exclamation point goes above their head, they run towards you, and then all of a sudden it's a battle. Like literally, think about what you're doing. You are a speed bump in the bar for random people. Like, it's just, I don't know. To me, it just is like super weird and desperate and entitled. Maybe that's just me. And the last one is retention. I'm not going to give an opinion on this. I don't have an opinion on this. It's just, it's going exactly where NoFap went. If you want to look into it, be my guest. I think it's weird. Anything that makes you feel better about you, that's cool. You want to take yourself away from anything synthetic, that's cool. Just for me, I think that time is wasted on things like this. So look into it if you want.